Hi everyone, and welcome to the Truck King YouTube channel. If you are to believe the marketing experts at car companies these days, everyone has an active lifestyle. Everyone's into either kayaking or bicycling. And for those types of people, they're rolling out models like this. This is the Sorento X-Line. Now they call it an off-road package. We call it a soft road package because really it's about getting, to the mouth of the trail, not actually hitting the trail. And you know what? That's what I want to put to the test today. So in this video, we'll go for a drive on road, see how it handles, and then we'll take her off road, test the all-wheel drive, and see how it does when things get wet. Let's kick it off with the Walkaround. So if you go for the X-Line, you're going to get the larger engine option here in the Sorento. That is a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that makes 281 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque, sent through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, well, if I can get this hood prop out here, I think I never closed the hood before. Now I mentioned this is the X-Line, so what are you getting? Probably the most significant off-road upgrade is a 1-inch lift. This Sorento does sit slightly higher. Besides that, you're also getting unique fascias in the front and the rear that are going to improve your approach and your departure angle. And then one of the things you're getting, which really doesn't improve your off-roading, a set of 20-inch wheels, and that's all about styling. And then the last part of the package, which is important, you do get a standard roof rack up here. Those are coming with the X-Line to make sure if you are going to put a canoe, a kayak, bicycles up there, you can do that right from the dealership.
All right, folks, it's time for another episode of Does Steve Fit?
Well, and with these captain's chairs, I think it's going to be nice. But first, let me show you. You touch a button here on the shoulder, and these seats really do push quite a ways forward, so you can climb into the back. Now, these are nothing really but jump seats back here, more reserved for children, so I'm not going to jam myself back there. But good to know you do have 2 seats in the rear. And I also want to point out there is latch hookups for baby seats in all 4 of these seats, which is nice back here. So now, let me go ahead and climb in. And what I want to show you in here, first of all, I have a ton of space. Second of all, you can really change up how this seat is configured. It reclines like that. Plus, I have all of this space to move forward and back. I can really jam myself up here if I want to give that person more space. So in second rows these days, and especially with captain's chairs, you just get so much more customizability out of these seats. And another last nice thing I want to mention, when you get captain's chairs, you have little kids, they're able to crawl right through the middle to get to that back row, making access that much easier. So yeah, it's quite nice back here. Let's take a look at the back end of the Sorento now. And on this X-Line, for once, it's actually not a powered hatch. That just seems to be so more common these days, but on this model, we don't have it. Now, what I want to show you back here is when these rear seats are up and you're in your 6-seat configuration, there's not a lot of storage space back here. So this is one of those vehicles where you are making a choice between having people or having cargo. But with that seat down, there is a generous amount of room back here, and I'll show you a couple things. First of all, a nice cargo space underneath this floor. That is a flat tire kit. There is no full-size spare on this Sorento, also worth noting. And then you're going to see a couple little D-rings in the corners. But Kia also spent time back here making sure your passengers are comfortable. One thing I like, there's actually an AC control in here, so your third row occupants can control their own HVAC settings. Plus there's a little USB port and their own little fan outlet there. So even if you are jammed all the way in the back, you can still control your own fan and plug your own devices in, and especially for kids, that is a nice thing. So now we're out here driving in the Sorento, and as you heard off the top, this is the most off-road ready Sorento. I'm still not sure I'd call it an off-roader, but it is off-road ready. So we took it to our local mild off-road trail, and the first thing that we did is we went and hit our little articulation ditch to find out how the all-wheel drive works and you can see that right here. And here we are back at our favorite all-wheel drive testing ditch. So let's see how the Sorento does. We're starting with it in smart mode. So keep coming, keep coming. Okay, and driver, yep. And now we should get a lift out of this wheel. And let's see what it does. Wow, it is fully stuck. It does not know how to split the power. Very, very interesting. And up here on this passenger side, Dad dug quite the rut. Let me try to just fix it up a little bit here. And now we'll have to try again in one of the off-road modes and see if that works a little bit better. Okay, well, fully defeated. Which mode did you go into?
Man, I can smell something burning. Anyway, I got it in mud mode right now.
Mud mode, okay, now we're in mud mode, which is one of 3 off-road modes, so let's see if that doesn't split the power a little bit smarter. Come on, Sorento. There we go. So you could see that the Sorento was braking this wheel that didn't have any traction and therefore sending some power over to that passenger side wheel. But in standard mode, it didn't do that. So there was a significant difference. And what did you feel?
Well, it's nice to know it's not just a fake knob.
Yeah, it does something. It does something.
It actually works.
This is why I've always had a problem with companies that call them off-road packages, because I suppose we'd argue about what off-road is. To me, it's an all-season, all-weather package with a little bit of extra thrown in so you can get down your gnarly cartage road. And past that, this is not an off-roader.
Yeah, fair point. And I think what really kind of drives that home is that on this package on X-Line, you get larger wheels. You get 20-inch wheels, and anyone who's doing serious off-roading, you know you want smaller wheels, larger tires. So it just tells you that style was the most important thing when they put the package together, not function. But from that perspective, you know, just dropping the off-road thing, I do think it looks really good. I think the redesigned Sorento here looks really slick. X-Line gives you a little bit more clearance, unique fascias. So yes, from that style point of view, I think it does look pretty tough, actually.
No, without a doubt, and the interior upgrade is really, really nice.
It really is.
Some really cool features in here, just nice styling cues. And frankly, this particular vehicle, this sort of mid-sizer SUV, this is the meat of the market. So it pays for them to spend money on this as far as getting it up to, you know, its competitors' level. And then you throw in the X-Line for that just little extra something where the guy who's looking at this can say, ooh, I can go off-road. Sure, okay. But at least the off-road modes, pardon me, do work.
Yeah. One of the things I really notice on the interior are the details, little details. This really cool kind of X pattern in front of me and here on the doors is nice. Even on the insides of the air vents here, there's this little bit of a bezeled pattern. And it's those little details that come together to make this thing feel really nice. Now, I also love how much at-hand storage there is. This console down here just feels really big and open. And then another thing I noticed in the back seat, Dad, is there's actually cup holders molded right into the doors. And I just think that's so smart. You take away all the stuff from down here in the middle, put it up here on the door. That's a smart move.
So I've been driving the Sorento for a couple of days now, and one of the things I just want to mention about the controls, the cabin controls, is you've got a nice mix of buttons, dials, and then touchscreen. They haven't gone no buttons, they haven't gone all touchscreen, and frankly, the most common controls, radio, HVAC, are all still buttons, and I prefer those, and I like a dial for my volume button, so I think it's a good balance.
So there is revised suspension here in the X-Line, and I did feel when we were off-road that it actually, you know, wasn't too stiff. It was doing an okay job of taking care of us out there. Now, Dad did manage to bottom it out, so there's kind of the opposite side of that equation. But that also means here on-road, it's a nice, comfortable, smooth ride. I'm enjoying it from the passenger seat, but you're driving, Dad, so why don't you tell us how you think it drives?
It's got nice road manners, and this is what I would expect if I were to buy sort of this little mid-size SUV, which I'm planning on driving around town 99.5% of the time.
Yeah, it's easy.
And the little bit that we did off-road, like I said, and I take offense to the fact that you said I bottomed it, because no, there was a big hole. The hole bottomed it. I didn't bottom it.
Gotcha.
So under the hood in the Sorento here, you've got a turbo 4-cylinder engine, and you really feel it. If you want to pass, you want to merge, no problem. However, I did notice, I've been driving it, like I said, for several days now, and I wasn't trying to do anything with fuel economy, and I have a 9.2 liters per 100 average, which, considering that I have been doing nothing except my normal stuff, which is usually speeding, yeah, that's all right. That's decent. That's so lots of power, but the fuel economy is very reasonable.
Well, folks, we are coming to the end of this video. So what's the verdict on this Sorento X-Line? Well, you know what? This is a nice, comfortable cruising crossover on-road. It's got tons of power, a nice interior, and when you get off-road, it'll do a little bit more than your standard crossover, but do not expect to be tackling the Rubicon. As long as you have the right expectations, I think this X-Line is actually a pretty nice package. Well, folks, that's it for this one. Now, please go below. Let me know what you think of this Sorento. As always, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of the channel, and then come right back here to Truck King to see what we're testing next. See ya.